All right, so we're back at the Wabas residence. Yeah, we've got to finish up a special project, and it's over there in the corner. As you guys have already seen, we're working on the pressure washer. And before anybody says anything, lighting's on the next to-do list.
Yeah.
So these are just temp fixtures. You've already got it pre-wired, so we'll work on probably Cree, huh?
Yeah, that's what
And you're thinking 4K, which I think makes some sense. It'll warm up the space a little bit. It won't be so white. You're not going to do any major detailing in here because your cars don't need it because you don't drive them.
Correct.
So they're just basically garage babies. 4K is still nice.
Yeah, and then I might do some cans.
Yeah, yeah, you could do some cans.
Potentially.
We can do anything, Mike. You just dream it up and we'll fix it, okay?
But Mike, if we're doing your garage, what are you going to start with first? Like, let's say you didn't have it all at once. Would you do the lighting?
It's all the infrastructure stuff. Yeah, I'm going to do lighting first.
Yeah.
I'm going to,
Yeah.
for sure. It's a matter of getting, because I got my air handlers relocated. They used to be suspended from the ceiling. I put those in the attic. I'm getting rid of the 75-gallon water heater that's in the corner.
That's nice.
Putting a tankless with a recirc pump on a Renai that Chris at Service Plumbing was able to get me. Yeah, he took care of getting that for me, so I've got to plumb that in. But yeah, all that kind of stuff first. Get everything off the ground, get everything clean, get the walls kind of blank slate, get the lighting in, and then go from there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I probably would do, I guess, paint, because I've had to do some drywall work, pressure washer, and then whatever else after that.
Yeah.
Cabinets.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, the big three things that we've always talked about is flooring, lighting, cabinets.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can do those three things.
It already, then you can add things.
Yeah.
You can add a lift later. You can add tools. You can add even pressure washer, you know. So I think what we should do today is work on getting the electrical done before it gets too hot.
Yeah.
So I'll get up in the attic. We'll run 2 circuits over to the pressure washers, and then we're going to run a 3rd circuit over to this corner and drop down for your irrigation timer. So that'll be on the dedicated. And obviously each one of those will be on a dedicated. So let's get that done, and then we can work on everything else in the garage after that's finished. Because I think it's gonna get, you know, when it's 90 outside, it's 115, 120 in the attic. So anyway, let's do that. We'll put a tandem 20 in one of these spots for the pressure washers. A lot of notices here, Mike. We've got lots of stickers. Yeah, pest control stickers, and Mike, this is probably worthy of debadging. You were mentioning you want to repaint it. I think that's a good idea. Okay, so we are pretty packed full. As you can see, there's where they've run all their circuits. They did a neat job though. I like this. This looks great.
Yeah.
They did a nice job.
I did all right, Mike,
You did all this, huh, Mike? You did this panel change out. So we might, no, it's pretty tight in there too. So I'll probably do is pop this knockout. We'll put a bushing in there, and then we'll fish through our 3 circuits through there. Come into our ground. We got plenty of room. I mean, there's plenty of spaces for us to. And they've doubled up their grounds. See that? They doubled up on each set screw. They've doubled up, so it's given a lot of room for other. And that's just so people know. This is not always code. Depends where you live. And you have to put like wire sizes. You're not supposed to put a 12 and a 14 together. You're supposed to put 2 12s. If you had a couple of 14s, you got to put the 14s together, because otherwise when you tighten it hits the 12 first and it doesn't really squish the 14 because it's a smaller gauge. So anyway, so let's get to it. Let me get up in the attic and check it out and see what we've got for access. Yeah, okay, I can get through here. We can run 3 more circuits through here. Then I'll just pop out a hole. Yeah, this is going to be easy, Mike. Well, you got to drill holes in the top plate for the wall. They've already built the top plate has already been drilled, big enough, so I can sneak wire down through there without a problem. What do I think? It's warm up here. Get through? So we're taking out these 3/4 inch knockouts.
So we're running 2 circuits through here, so we're going to use 3/4 inch conduit. So what'll end up happening is this will be the top receptacle. So
It'll go, like let's say right here, 3/4 in, 3/4 back out to another receptacle here. So, pretty easy.
yeah. So we're going to do a little bit of an offset here for the box. It's also known as a kicker. So just a little kicker like that. So now you see that comes away from the wall a little bit because, so when you do this, now the back side of the box and the back side of the conduit are now on the same plane, see? So it doesn't take much on a 3/4 because the hole is closer to the back side of the box. 1/2 inch is a little more of a kicker. So I know you have a hacksaw somewhere, right? Or a Sawzall, the metal cutting blade?
Yes, we do.
Of course you do, Mike. You're fully equipped for anything I need here. This is Mike, did you steal this from some middle schooler? Maybe we should cut away and come back. Here, this is going to take a while. This is where you put in the SpongeBob 3 hours later.
At least it's getting it done, Mike.
It's rubbing. It's made a mark. We got it done, Mike. Let's see what you have for deburring. Yeah, it works. Just gotta make sure there's no burr.
This has some value to show people. If you don't have,
You just improvise.
you gotta get it done.
That's what you do. You improvise.
This is very basic. So what we're gonna do, a little slack there, there we go. It's gonna go right there. Like, we'll throw one clamp right here. Inches long.
Yeah, this is a handy power tool, Mike. So I'm gonna go ahead and flip the blade around.
It's really a good tool, Mike.
Really is, Mike. I think this is known as an exercise in futility, Mike. Do you have a vise, Mike?
No.
We need to get you an orange vise, huh? I failed to mention that before I work on my garage, you asked me earlier, what am I gonna do number 1?
Oh, yeah.
It's air conditioning.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Then lighting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You've purchased a deburring tool.
Yes.
Let me just deburr this in your drawer so you can have crumbs in your drawer. I'm really a nice guy. You know, factory edge there.
Priorities, you know?
Priorities, yes.
Yes, I understand. Equally above shelf here. So our cord will come out right along the shelf, right in, 90 degree, and plug right in. Right there, 3.5. Oh well. Right, that one. All right, so we got our ground tied to our 4-square box. Now we're gonna install our GFI.
Now, how these work is, this side, the reason it's taped is because this would be a load side. So if you were putting this as your first receptacle coming from your breaker, feeding in, this is your load or line side, this is the side that feeds the GFCI, and if you were gonna have additional protected outlets down the line, you would peel this tape and it goes on this side, which is called the load side. So line side, load side. So we're not utilizing this because we're going dedicated per receptacle, so we don't need to worry about that.
So you just leave the tape on there?
You leave the tape on there. Yep.
Yeah, we'll take it off.
Of course you would, Mike. Now you won't, though.
Okay. So it's gonna be like that. So now we just need to get our
Cover plate.
taking it back old school, Mike, with the manual screwdriver here.
We do have a...
I know we do, but that's all right. I don't feel like walking over there to go get it. Now you have a black Lutron cover plate, right, Mike?
Sure do.
That'll be a special edition here. So it looks great right there.
Okay, you went with a matte finish or satin finish.
Yep.
Lutron cover plate.
Ordered these strips as garage.
You did, yes, we do sell these.
We've been had a run on the black ones lately, so we had to order some more.
This is always my favorite part, watching you do. Just clicking on this.
The final piece to the puzzle.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I can see this is a little off, so we just do right there. Looks right. There you go. You like that final snap, Mike?
That's my favorite
Yeah,
part.
all right. So now, obviously we're going to shorten our cords. We're going to put a right angle plug. We'll use this bottom one so that way the rest of the black is exposed.
Nice.
So it looks special. You can use the top too, but anyway. So let's get this other one done. So simple box cutter, nice and sharp. You only want to, you can score it, and then down here you cut through. And you can go the rest of the way by pulling on it. It'll push through.
Any tips, Mike?
Make sure breaker's off. I mean, I do work on live circuits, but I'm used to doing that. There we go. Boom, boom, done. All right, pretty good, Mike. Now we'll go. Let's get your circuit breaker in. We'll tie this in. I could use for a nice latte, buddy. Let's get a nice latte. It's just expert level experience, Mike. You didn't have to tell me what to do now.
No, I think you have it under control.
Yeah, I think I do. This right off here. I guess we can use that with the, with even the
Yeah, you really
band on there, but
Yeah, you can.
no need to.
It's not
We'll do it
necessary.
here.
Pretty good, Mike.
Yep. Do our little filter.
Yep.
Make a mess of your place, Mike. Look at that. Yeah. This is really good experience, Mike. Okay.
Anything to drink.
Yeah, agreed. All
Let's
right.
try this ice ball, Mike. I haven't
Okay, so this is,
Just set that on top.
and it's supposed to pour and then wrap around it, go into, just into the cup. So we have to make sure it's pretty well centered.
that's
All right. Here we go, Mike.
A little bit of splatter,
Initial, but now it's fine.
but it's fantastic. Nice, Mike. Go ahead and assemble our beverage. I always suggest putting in your half and half first on this
Yeah.
one, just because of the effect we get. I'd say a little bit more. Yeah,
Okay.
there you go.
All right. So it's gonna have to, trickle down like this.
Yeah, you're right. That's a good way to do it there, Mike.
And then this one we can just go for it.
Yep.
Okay.
So this is kind of like a mini cortado here.
I don't know what that is, Mike.
Cortado is equal parts espresso, equal parts milk.
Okay. I've not heard that term, Mike. I'm not as sophisticated as you.
Yeah, you're learning.
I'm learning. I do enjoy the experience of making this. And I do have to say that I've noticed the knockbox has now 180'd
Yes.
in the other
There has
direction.
been some debate, and I'd like for you to demonstrate the way you would do this.
So here's the thing. So in my mind, I'm not gonna strike it here. I'm gonna strike it here against this. So I'm gonna do this. Like that. Your thought was to have it 180 and then you hit it like you hit on the edge there.
Correct.
And try to aim it like kind of like this so it's going in this direction. To me, oops.
It's just more comfortable for me that way, I think.
I think it's because you're not as sophisticated as me in this department, Mike.
Yeah, that's it.
I have a mechanical mind, and yours is more artistic. So I think like that makes more sense, and I think that's why they offset it.
I see.
It's just my take, Michael.
Got it.
But I mean, either way will work, obviously.
It is,
You know. So all right, so we can set this back up because we're going to do another one of these.
Probably going to want two of these, huh?
I think so, Mike. Here, this is yours. That has a little more espresso in it than mine. Okay. Look at that. It's even hourglass
Yeah.
shaped. That's pretty neat. And see, this is where I think Matt would enjoy all this part, and then he goes here.
Yeah, exactly.
He
Exactly.
doesn't drink that.
Yeah,
Although I think if he really gave a good coffee shot, he might like it. But as he said, you know, maybe he and caffeine,
yeah.
maybe not as a good recipe.
Yeah. It's just nice. You know?
That is good.
A little
So it's really a glass within a glass.
Yeah, it's double walled somehow.
Pretty neat. It's very good. Quite a good espresso. Espresso, not espresso.
Yeah.
Espresso.
You'll get lit up for now.
I will. Espresso. There's no X in it.
No.
The proper methodology here. Should we rinse this prior
would
to
need
a
to be-
second pour?
yeah, this would need
A
to be
second
rinsed.
pull? Yeah. Okay. Ready? I like the espresso going over that
Yeah.
iced
Yeah.
ball contraption you own here, Michael. It's pretty slick.
So the idea there is that as the espresso hits the ice
It
ball,
cools immediately.
yeah, and it retains some of the flavor.
Gotcha.
Because as espresso sits, it loses flavor.
Gotcha.
It kind of messes it up.
Okay.
So the fresher you drink that, the better.
Pretty even.
This just helps us do better work, you know?
Absolutely.
A lot of people
That's really good, Mike.
are underestimating the importance of said beverage.
Of caffeine?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what this does is insulate so there's no chafing around the sheet metal.
The Romex. Snap into place. That. There we go.
These both on. And I imagine the GFIs will be lit.
Reset. Green. And green.
So what are we doing
So we're doing custom cord length. So I like it all neat and tidy. I don't like putting this pile of cord back behind the pressure washer personally. As I mentioned before, it may or may not void your warranty. Can't make any promises, but I think it's worth the effort. So I come out like that, right to there. So I'm gonna cut it right there, basically. And then we're gonna put our right angle plug on that you purchased, right? The Leviton plugs. There we are, ready to go. So I think we've shown people this before, but this is what I like to use. The Leviton 15 amp, 120 volt, 125 volt. It's a 5-15P is what it is. So that's the NEMA rate on the plug layout. So as I've said before, you can clock these. So you can clock it like that. So basically every 90 degrees, depending on what you need. So for us, we're gonna do the standard like this. One shot at this.
You can't mess it up.
That's that.
Done.
So remember, as I've said before, you don't want to strip this back too far. Only about maybe 1.25 inches. And you don't need to go all the way through just yet. Right at the very end, you can go through all the way because that's where you're going to strip the wires back anyway. So by doing that, you're ensuring you're not slicing through the individual insulation on the wires. So.
I wonder if these plug sales have increased.
I don't know.
because of our videos.
I sure like them for this application. Man, they look really nice. The key, nice and tidy. And we just, boom.
Wow.
Look at that. And that, see how it's nice in the same plane?
Yep.
Comes straight across and up. Stuff like that just gets me. And then you still have an open receptacle for whatever, Mike. I don't know that you need it, but I like to see all this. I prefer doing it down here.
I agree.
You know, I think it looks nice.
Yeah.
I mean, both ways. I've done mats where I put it up here so it covers most of it, but I think it looks nice since you've done all the work of painting all this black.
Yeah.
We might as well leave it all exposed.
Agreed.
Okay, so let's do the lower one. So what you want, make the cords identical and so that the swoop radius is the same. They lay across the shelf, come parallel across the shelf up into here. And this is the finer details, Mike. I think from when you stand back and look at something, if everything is symmetrical, it just makes me happy. So.
Mike, you call it a swoop radius?
Swoop. I'm just making that up as I go.
No,
swoop.
I think that could be our new.
Yeah, swoop radius. So they're both running. So they're both powered up. We have green lights. So you're protected. Now we just have to finish our plumbing. So what we're going to do, we're going to do a T, a threaded. Where is that T? Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to 90 up. We're going to put a threaded pipe, threaded T here. And then we've got a stainless steel hose bib for your bucket filler that we're going to thread into here. So that you'll be able to choose, eventually when you get your DI system, you can choose DI for your buckets. But that'll go like right there. And we'll put it at an appropriate height. Hello, Wabba Wawa. So we need to figure out what height we want it at. And we can make it as high as this if we want to. So anyway, and then we'll come out of here, T, catch both our inlines for incoming low pressure water side, so we don't need this anymore. And then we can do our high pressure to the valves, and yeah, that'll be that, Mike. So I think what we'll do first is let's do the supply lines.
Okay.
Let's take these stickers off and debadge this stuff, get this all threaded on properly, and then we can work on getting all this mounted to the wall, and then work on the high pressure stuff. So this is, we already pre-tightened all this stuff yesterday. We use Matt's Orange Vice. Properly mock up the low pressure side. And then the low pressure T and everything will go right about here. And I think from the side this looks nice because we come up, have a nice little radius here, and this one more or less matches it. I think it looks good. And we put 90s on here so that we're not out in front of the outlets. Looks cool. All right, buddy, so this is, we are installed here, so I guess what we'll do, we've got to tape our 90s and get our QDs tightened on the 90s here. So this is what I plan on doing with this. This is going to come and be like this. It's going to live like that, right about there. I think we clocked these, marked them, so it's going to look like that. That's going to come straight down. So this is our shutoff for this, right, to the pressure washers. And then we'll come down with our T. This will look like that. And then we'll come down, we'll put our bucket filler at whatever. I think I like it at the same level as the valves, don't you? Or maybe, well, actually, I'm not so sure because this one's got to shut off. Yeah, it's got to go, it can't go there. So now it's going to have to go below. Okay. So we'll put it there like that. So we'll 90 out of that Prevo up there, come up here, hose bib, and then another short piece of Prevo into here, and we'll be good. Yeah, I think what we'll do is we'll bring these, put them on the vise. We'll tighten everything up in a vise. Obviously, I've marked where I want these 90s clocked, so we'll get all this tight, and I think that would be ideal. That way because doing it on the ground is either, so let's just do it in the vise. Yeah. It's a pain in the butt doing it on the ground. All right, so we've got all the fittings are now installed and pretty well. So you can see obviously where I marked up, I lined my lines up so that all that works. We'll get that off with brake cleaner after the install.
These need to be pretty good and tight, right?
These have to be really tight. I mean, because once you assemble this, you don't want to have to try to, in order to tighten everything, you have to take it all back apart. Because these have to, the 90s would have to swing against the wall. So it's much easier to do this once and be done. So I also installed your hose bib on our Prevo 90, and then I also did your bucket filler. We'll put your fittings on. So there's our 3/4 female pipe to 3/4 GHT on that end, and then it's the opposite on the other end. It's 3/4 female pipe to male
3/4 male GHT. On this end, this is where your quick disconnect and your nozzle will go. So,
Mike, did you get stung out there? Something happened.
dude, that's that freaking bug that got me out in your yard. It got me right here. Look at my hand now.
It looks a little swollen there, but
That's a wasp, man. That was a wasp that got me.
I got you some Benadryl.
Yeah, I know. I put some on. That happened like, what, 2 hours ago, and look how much it's swollen already. I'm okay. I mean, I can still breathe. If I go into full anaphylactic, can you call 911? No, I don't. These wasps around here, they don't mess around. Look at the difference.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's pretty nuts. Yeah, but I'm fine. I can still use my hand, so we're good. All right, so now that we got this done, we can start installing up here. So I'm gonna set this up here. We can cut the unions loose, so they're just hand tight like that, right? And we do this. Put this back on. All right, there we go. Now that the unions are kind of loose, now we know we're gonna go like right there. I think we were gonna go higher, like that. Yep, right like that. So we'll run our Prevost pipe down. So I think what we'll do is we'll get this vertical Prevost pipe done, get it clamped, and then we can I'll figure out where I've got to cut this because I ran it wild. Put our 90 on, and then we can cut the 2 sections before and after your hose bib. I think that's perfect. Yeah. All right, so I think what we'll do is I can figure out where this is going in line this way, and then we can cut our first pipe down below. So now we have to flex this away. Where are the clamps? This in. This is the final hookup for the Prevost, yeah. First things first, we'll tighten the horizontal pipe. Lock this in. You definitely want, if you're doing Prevost, you want to buy one of these wrenches from us. Because if you try to use channel locks on this, it's going to gouge it all up and take that anodized finish off, and it's going to look horrible. So there's actually a mate to this. It's an adjustable wrench for putting on the 90. It's a specific for grabbing this tang here. It's kind of like a spanner where it grabs that and then wraps around the other side, and then that backs this up. But since we're already in clamps, I don't need it for this. But we do sell the both, which you need. It's like when you're doing a ball valve or a 90 or a coupler, a union, you do need it. Okay, so now twist that in there and get this all lined up. We'll do the hose bib first. Get that nice and square to the wall. And make sure that's tight. Double check this, then we can turn your water supply on. That's tight, okay. All right, Michael, so what we want to do next, we've got all the incoming water supply done. So I think what we should do next is we have to thread these 90s onto the hoses and then thread the couplers onto the other end of the 90. So these are street L's that we use. So and get these on. And then that'll take care of the high pressure side.
And then we need to pin this to the wall. We'll use one of our anti-vibration clamps. Pin that to the wall, and then we can mount your wand holder, and then we're done. Little side project here. So you've got tool grid. So now we have OG bit holders.
Yeah, these are now available.
Yeah, so these are something we now have. So you've got horizontal mount for the long bits. So it would look something like this, you know. And then you've got the verticals. So these are your little Allens. So you've got the vertical mount for shorter stuff. If ever anybody has Milwaukee, they know these are a pain to get out. You have to have super grip strength and wiggle them out, so they're a pain. So this is so much more convenient. Which drawer do you want to put them in, Mike? You got it blank. So okay, so then obviously this has the same kind of screw set that the other tool grid does. So you would screw this down to here, but it's also got the little pegs that fit into our holes here. So like that, and then you would just put a screw there. Obviously we would do this before we slide these in here, but people get the idea. So yeah, we've been talking about this for a while. So obviously OG and tool grid collaboration there. Super nice. Hopefully what we're doing helps people and they be more comfortable and installing, and then hopefully it'll at least entice them to buy from us, you know? I mean, that's the whole point, is we do all this, we're not making any money on YouTube.
No.
We're doing this so that people use us as a tool to how to install, and then they buy it from us, right? Keeps us in a job too. If you've never done one before, or if you're not, you know, super inclined to do this kind of thing, I think with the video help and just knowing what fasteners I use and how it goes around, how to configure it.
I think that's the biggest thing for
I think
me.
it's just the help.
If I know what to do,
It makes it easier.
Yeah.
It makes it easier, for sure.
take your time with it, do one thing a day. Like,
Yeah.
it's not so bad.
No, it's not. So I think what I'll do is I'll install the couplers onto the street L's first, and then we'll spin them on the hoses. So, as I mentioned before, I do like to use a little bit of thread compound or pipe compound with the Teflon tape, simply because it's stainless to stainless. Not only is it better to prevent leakage, but it also lubricates the threads. And stainless steel has a tendency to gall if you're not, you know, if you don't get enough wraps of tape on there. So what I do is tighten, and then I get everything tightened, and then I take a paper towel or something and wipe the excess off. The blue doesn't look bad because it's blue, right?
Yep.
So, but yeah, that's my reasoning behind it. I don't always do it if I don't have it available. Like if we're doing a job and I don't have any of it, then I'll just, you know, pipe tape works. I mean, it won't leak. But it does make it a little easier to torque everything down because it acts as a lubricant, and then it next, like an extra layer of protection as far as leakage too. So when you're tightening fittings on the ground like we are, because we don't have a vise yet, because Mike's been saving up for one of the orange vices, obviously you have to pick what you want first, right? So what I like to do is just use a large, this is an 18-inch crescent wrench. So I use this as to hold. It makes it a lot easier than trying to use two end wrenches, because it gives you some leverage. And you can tighten against it. It's not as great as being in a vise, of course. The orange vise having aluminum jaws and all makes it nice to put stainless fittings there and tighten, because they don't, it doesn't mar them up like a regular jaw with cast iron knurled jaws. If you need an orange vise, we sell them. They're amazing. And you can replace the jaws too. If you ding the jaws up, make them look ugly from doing a bunch of work in them, like Matt accuses me of, you can always replace them. He used to have this one, I swear the brand, when I first met Matty, his tool selection was, he'll admit it, he's not shy about it. It was subpar, to say the least. So some of the brands he had, I'd never even heard of. Like, he had this crescent wrench, what was it named? It was like Peugeot or some weird name. He's gonna listen to this and laugh and say, oh no, it was Pittsburgh or something else. I think Pittsburgh is Harbor Freight. I don't even think these were Harbor Freight. I think these were even lower than. These might have been some Pennsylvania specials, maybe picked up at a garage sale at some point. I don't know, but
We've come a long way.
he's come a long way, man. Now Matt's got the best tools selection ever, you know? Everything's perfectly organized, master collections. He's still working on even a better set of hand tools. He's good at going through catalogs. He has the patience to go through and
I think he had, last I looked, he was at like, gosh, how many line items did he have on? The day I walked over there, he's like, I'm at 700 line items. That means he's 700 individual entries into his spreadsheet of different tools, man. That takes some patience.
It's just for the people, Mike.
He does a lot for the people. People need to appreciate what he does for everybody. Long story short, yeah, he finds these obscure things that the majority of people would never know existed if it wasn't for old Matty. Yep. Got to give it to him. Plus, he knows how to find one of the best cinematographers in the world. It's the truth, Mike. You know it's true. He finds people, plugs them in the system, as they say. That was called plumbing talk, Mike.
That is plumbing talk. That could be something. It's not so much the fitting tightening, but rather
the chat while we do.
while we're installing.
Yeah, yeah. So you see why having an 18-inch crescent wrench handy helps. Because if you're trying to do this with 2 small wrenches, you don't have the stability. So go buy yourself get on our site, hit us up. We'll sell you an 18-inch crescent wrench,
Yeah.
a really good one.
Yeah.
And then, I'm sorry, adjustable wrench. Crescent's a brand. Yeah. Okay, maybe one more.
Alrighty. Then what we'll do is, see now we have this here, what this lends us the ability to do is we can turn that pipe or that hose just enough like that. It keeps a twist in it, you know, and then we tighten this up and it kind of locks it in that position so it's not sticking out past your windowsill. See? Having unions and swivels makes it so much easier to plumb something up because you have some adjustability. Otherwise, this pipe could be sticking out like this, or this hose, I should say, you know. So, all right. See ya.
32 mil, Mike. Got that in the inventory.
Yes, you did, Michael. You really got it figured out. I think we're done, Mike. Okay, there we go. Now that's done. Now we just have to figure out where you want to put your wand holder. And the way our prototype, you know, we may make some adjustments, but basically this mounting plate mounts to your wall. We've got a couple of button head, socket head cap screws here. We'll take those off. We'll mount this plate on the wall, and then we'll screw the the compressor washer. No, we'll screw the wand holder. Let me take 2. And then we just bolt the wand holder back onto the plate once it's on the wall. The way cinder block works, there's a thick web here, then it's a void. Obviously you have block going this way, the outside of it, but then it's solid through here and solid through here. So I'm picking the center of a block to drill and put my tap cons in because it's more secure. Otherwise, you've only got about 1.25 inches or so of thickness here, but this way you're going to be solid all the way through. So do here first. And then what we want to do is get one in, then we'll take our little level and we'll put it across hole to hole to make sure we're not, because if we're like this, the wand holder is going to be crooked. So let's do one, get one in. All right, so we're going to go top of holes, right there, which means this has got to go. That's it right there. Okay. Come out our wand holder back on there.
It's really satisfying, Mike.
Is it? It's really coming together, Mike. You're way ahead of me.
Your garage is
I keep doing everybody else's stuff,
gonna
and
be next level. From what I heard, I heard some rumors.
yeah, no, it's my plan.
Some rumors that
My problem isn't it's time. That's because I'm always doing other things.
you're growing your strawberries. I heard they're doing pretty good.
Strawberries, watermelons, squash, tomatoes, carrots, red bell peppers. What else? Beets.
Oh, nice.
I tried onions, but the onions didn't germinate. Yeah. Apparently they don't like to germinate in hot soil, and it's obviously hot in Florida. So, all right. All right, where's your foam cannons? There we go.
There you go, Michael. That's it, buddy.
That's special.
So now we were gonna turn the water on, and then let's get your wash mitt out of here. Turn the water on. This would help by opening the nozzle. Like shouldn't take that long. Okay, so this will get a flush, and then what we'll do is we'll pull this plug out. What you're gonna do is just make sure there aren't any shavings, or because we deburred the inside of the Prevost, we want to make sure there's no aluminum, you know, in this up to this point. We know there's nothing here because we blew this out. Now we'll just flush the air out. I'll fill the hose with water. I'll turn the water back on, pressurize everything with at least city pressure, and then check for leaks. Yeah. Oh, you know what, Michael?
We never tightened that.
I don't think we ever tightened that fully. So that's why we do a test first. It's literally just hand threaded in there. Yeah, that's when we were mocking up. We never completely finished that.
That's the worst thing.
Well, I don't want leaks of something that I've tightened already. If it was just threaded in there for mock-up, then that's okay. All right. So that's tight. So now we can turn back on. We're good, buddy. I think now the next test is going to be, do you have a 7.0 or 7.5 nozzle?
Yes.
All right, so next thing is, okay, there we go. Yeah, we definitely had some air in there. I mean, it's a fair amount of pushback there, buddy. That's my friend, the wasp. Yeah, I'm gonna power wash him off the house. Well, buddy, it's done, and you don't have any leaks. I mean, we had the one, I didn't install that fitting yet, but everything is dry as a bone. So, I think it looks pretty darn clean, buddy. I like it a lot.
Mike, I got it. Seriously, thank you, man.
You're welcome, Michael.
I had to repay you. Maybe a couple of extra iced lattes.
There we go. I think it looks pretty great. I think it looks really, really good here. So, I guess the last thing to do is put your one holder up. And there's not much else I can think of. The only thing we're waiting for is our DI to go from prototype to production. Because since you've already got your pressure washers installed and your hose reel, you'll do a the DI only cabinet, which will go here. So what we'll have to do is cut the Prevost, put a 90 up, and then we'll 90 into the side of into the DI tank, or into the DI solution, then back out, 90 down, and 90 on into the Prevost. So you'll basically leave everything else. We're just going to cut a section out of this Prevost and put 2 90s. But yeah, man, it looks super clean. I like the black shelves. The black and blue all looks great together. You know, I do like the hose bib a lot off of the 90 there, or off the T, I should say. Yeah, this is, you know, I know they had you with the ball valve, but I prefer this better.
And yeah,
because prefer this more.
Because you're using the ball valve instead of, it's just.
Yeah, it's more cumbersome. I think in utilizing this, it makes more sense to me. And it's stainless, just like everything else, so it all matches. You know, I think your valve setup where the valves are is perfect. You know, you can turn them on and off, no problem. Now you don't really need these. I've explained this before, but these aren't really necessary if you want to run one pressure washer, unless you're taking the pressure washer out of the loop for some reason. If you have a malfunction, if you have a leak, if you need to rebuild one, and you want to take it out of the system, you then can isolate completely so the pressure doesn't backfeed through the valves and back where the pressure washer was installed. Because once you turn one on, it's effectively pressurizing both pressure washers. The only way to truly isolate it is to shut the valve off. So that's why I do this, just so that you have the ability to service or repair one and still use a single pressure washer. You just have to change your nozzle from a 7.5 to a 4.0. So anyway, yeah, it looks great.
It's a
nice little setup, dude. I mean, it looks really good. I like the black, it looks nice. Everything's black and blue, looks great.
Looks great. So,
Appreciate your help, Mike.
you're very welcome, Mike. Yeah,
Next up is your garage.
maybe.
We got some big plans.
Maybe,
for your garage.
maybe my
And your
outdoor kitchen. I know. I'm kind of designing that right now.
Yeah,
Kind of
so-
going through some plans with what I see will work for the outdoor kitchen.
Nature
But-
cast.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be nature cast. It'll be alfresco grill, an Evo, a small Havens metal sink,
Yep.
maybe the stainless steel Waterstone. I mean, not water. Yeah, Waterstone.
Waterstone.
Faucet that we used for Lena's outdoor kitchen.
Yep.
I would like that, but I'm doing some kind of configuring now.
Yep.
So.
And all that's available through OG.
Of course it is.
So
We
what
sell
else
it
is
all.
that? So what
We
else
sell
is that?
everything that's here. Very few things that you would need that we don't have. The conduit, the Romex, and the right angle plugs, and the Tapcons.
Yeah.
Everything else we sell.
Yep. Even
So-
the ProSlat cabinets. that we
Of course,
came to-
ProSlats. Yes, these are nice. Everything's nice. You did a good job. Now we just need to do your lighting.
Yeah.
You know, we'll get that done. That'll be a nice compliment to everything. And your AC. Why don't we do the AC before you do the lights? How about that, Mike?
Good idea.
Because the sweat's running in my eyes. And then maybe we should have another refreshment, another latte.
Yeah, a couple of lattes. Mike.
Maybe that would be good. And maybe we can go grab some ramen.
Yep. All right, Mike.
All right, call it.
Thanks, buddy.
Thanks for everybody for staying tuned and watching us, Mike and Mike stuff, do at Mike's house.
Yeah, thumbs up, like the video.
Yeah. Comment. I'm genuinely curious. Do you like the black shelves?
Yeah.
Because it's something we could offer, or thinking about offering as part of when we make our DI cabinet with the pressure washer. Would you rather see stainless, or do you think we should offer some powder coated black shelves as well? I would think the price point, these would be a little less because they're not stainless, they're just powder coated steel. So yeah, let us know what you think, because I think it'd be a good idea. I do like the way the black looks.
I agree. Mike,
All right.
Until next time.
See you guys in the next one.